Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. Guys, in this video today, I'm going to take a moment, sit down, talk with you about antibiotics as far as prepping goes. Before I go any further in this video, I'll just say I'm not going to say I've never taken fish antibiotics. I'm not going to say that I condone taking fish antibiotics. I am just saying that there is alternatives out there should you begin to investigate it as far as prepping goes and for when stuff hits the fan. I'd also say that anything you do with your lives at your own risk, so don't, tweak whatever I say with a grain of salt. And so with that said, if you were looking outside the doors of the doctor's office to put back antibiotics for hard times, you can definitely find antibiotics in the fish. And if you want to get a hold of some of these and also the Colloidal silver that I'll get into in a minute, you can check this out at campandsurvival.com. You can get a whole host of these. I'll put the link in the video description. But when it comes to antibiotics, first we'll just focus on the fish antibiotics now, whether it's doxycycline, penicillin, cephalexin, or geflexin, ciprofloxacin, amoxicillin, any of those, okay, there's an expiration date right here on these fish antibiotics as well. Now, my personal advice is, a year, maybe two max, I think would probably be, as far as to push this stuff, I would definitely rotate that out just for safekeeping. I'm always sketchy about, medicine, period. I'm a big believer in essential oils, but, if you need antibiotics and you need to put them back, then here is your options. And now these you can get these in like 250 milligram. You can get them in 500 milligram. So 250 is like for a young adult, a small adult, small person. 500 milligram, just like you'd see when you go to the doctor for antibiotics. Take 2 to 3 times a day. That's something to keep in mind. And there is a whole variety of these that are still available. That you can purchase and put back. And thankfully, there's not a gap closed in on this as of current. So, if you're trying to prep these things and put them back, like I said, there is options out there. Keep in mind, some people can't have amoxicillin, so there's cephalexin, cipro. There's a difference out there too in the availability. Of course, some antibiotics are for different, things, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to try to prescribe symptoms and all this stuff. I'm just saying, if you know that you may need this, then there you go. All right, now something we've done in the past on the channel and showed how to make with a Colloidal silver generator. You can check the iCard right there. But now for those that don't want to roll the dice, there is a professionally packaged Colloidal silver, and right here it's 22 parts per million. It is patented. Okay, now this right here, as far as expiration date on it goes, I mean, guys, something like this, I honestly feel like it would just store indefinite. That's me. It says that it expires 5 of 2019, but anybody that knows, you always have to put an expiration date on anything. It's just like these Girl Scout cookies I've been munching down on. Everything's got an expiration date, including a human being. So, when it comes to that, if you want a solution outside of like Neosporin or something like that, there's also, they also have it in a gel for your skin as well. So, guys, I just wanted to share this info with you because now this stuff could possibly save your life one day. I'm going to tell you when the stuff hits the fan, whether, people might laugh at me because I prepare for the literal scriptural end of days and the 7 trumpets revelation, whether it's that, whether it's economic collapse, whether it's war with Russia or China, or heaven only knows, tomorrow a storm comes through and knocks out power for 2 weeks. One day the doctor's office will not be open. That is a guarantee. We don't live in Rwanda. We don't live in, some crazy country in Africa where it's war-torn, or the Middle East. I mean, we're really blessed, a lot of us, to live in good countries where that, things are peaceful right now. But one day the doctor's office won't be available. And I assure you that a bacterial infection is one of the things that kill people all the time. So if you don't get ahead of that, I mean, I just scratched myself. I'll say this now in this video. I just scratched my back. Very little scratch with a piece of wood when I was framing in my tiny house. My wife noticed it on my back, and had she not, it may have gotten way out of hand before I even got to the doctor. And I went and checked it out, and sure enough, I had a bacterial infection in my skin. I had to take antibiotics for a very long time to fight that off. So I'm telling you, the little things in life will kill you if you don't get ahead of it. So here, while the window is still open, if you're looking for a solution outside of asking the doctor to write you a refill the next time you get a sinusitis infection or something like that, here's some options. And like I said, Doxy, Ceflexin, Cipro, Penicillin, Amoxi. It's all, there's almost all of it available out there, folks. So anyways, if you want to get you some of this, you can check this out at campingsurvival.com. Like I said, links in the video description below. And, you know, just a final note, I find it interesting that if you do your research, that a lot of what goes into these bottles that's marked fish, you'll find end up going into the same type bottles for human beings. So like I said, final blanket statement on this is I'm not saying, I'm not condoning, I'm not condemning taking fish antibiotics. I am saying that there is alternatives out there should you begin to investigate it to put back for hard times. So guys, I hope this helped you, and I hope you have a most blessed day in Yahushua.